And Baylor.
I don't know if I would say Kansas definitively right now, but I would agree with you on all those others.
Who had that before the year? Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Was that 5 teams you named?
Yeah.
6 teams?
I think it was
5. That's wild. And it's early. They still everybody plays everybody in the Big 12. So that's where they are right now after 2 games. It could get worse.
Speaking of things getting worse, the UK day for the Wildcats on the road in Oxford, where the Ole Miss Rebels stayed undefeated. The 2 programs were 15-3 in their last 18 games. Something had to give. The Wildcats 2 turnovers in the red zone late in this one, multiple opportunities. Will Levis just not putting on the show that everyone's waiting for the theoretical Will Levis is the number 1 overall pick game, and it's just for me, I don't think it's ever coming. I'm not a Will Levis guy. I'm not a Spencer Rattler guy. I'm more of a Hendon Hooker, Stetson Bennett kind of guy on this podcast. I like results and not the theoretical version of what a quarterback can be. And you see the physical stuff, but he struggled, man, and he had a really bad fumble. Like you said, we were texting back and forth where, you have the touchdown fade, and he just did not wait for his guys to get set, and that cost him the game, really, because the next play, obviously, he fumbles, but that still falls on Will Levis. Like, that is Will Levis's job, and I think Mark Stoops was in his face about it, where it's like you cannot do little things like that, and there's just something not all the way there that just... I'm not a Will Levis believer. There's just something missing, and I think Ole Miss deserves a lot of credit. They got after the quarterback, really only sending 3 and 4 guys. They had 8 deep a lot of this game. They were making Will Levis pick them apart. Chris Rodriguez was back for this one, so that really helped. But the offensive line being really bad, I think, is a problem for the Wildcats, which is something to monitor throughout the rest of this year, is that I don't see the path to that getting better based on their roster. So if Kentucky can't block, like, good luck against Georgia and Tennessee in the coming weeks. But I don't know. I think Ole Miss impressed me. Jackson Dart's still shaky. I'm not a big Jackson Dart guy either after this week, but Ole Miss can run the football. And they were running right at Mark Stoops, like right in the middle. Like I think his name's Judkins, the backup for Zachary Evans, who really outperformed Evans in this one. But it's a good two-headed monster, and he was bursting through the middle of this vaunted Kentucky defense. And I don't know. I think Ole Miss deserves a lot of credit for winning this game. And Lane Kiffin just doing an insane job with Ole Miss. What did you make of this game?
I think if I was a Kentucky fan, well, let me start off this. I think we need a new segment on the pod here. I can like throw a flag, like a uni watch flag or something. One of the worst uniform games I've ever seen in my time. We had Kentucky wearing white, and Ole Miss wearing white, powder blue and white. What is this? This should have been a game where Ole Miss is rocking the red jersey. Or all Kentucky has is blue and white. So half the SEC West is burgundy. You can wear the powder blues against them. So that's all. That's the first thing I'll say. Terrible uniform, terrible time. I didn't mind the Ole Miss powder blues. I thought they were straight, but terrible time to bust them out against Kentucky rocking all white. So that's the first thing I'll say about this. If I was a Kentucky fan, I would feel like we blew this game. Like from was it 2 extra points, a missed field goal, 2 extra points that they one was blocked, one was they fumbled the snap, just left essentially like 4 points just on the board. And I think on top of just at the very end of the game turning the ball over the way they did, I thought Chris Rodriguez made a huge difference for this Kentucky offense, and that is telling you how terrible this rushing game has been for them. Kentucky is just built on defense and running the football, and you could see, like, I don't have the yards after contact in front of me. Chris Rodriguez was 19 for 72. I bet you he had 80 yards after contact. Like, he was working for everything he did. I feel like his individual just performance allowed Kentucky to have something in the running game. But you're right. This offensive line was getting absolutely blown up. They were ended up 37 carries for 108 yards, 2.9 yards a carry. Like for what their identity is, that's not going to work. And it was big to get Rodriguez back, but even so, like they still have a lot of work to do. But I feel like with the opportunities that you left just in the kicking game, I would feel like a Kentucky fan like we blew this game.
Brown's a really good player though. He's not Wendell Robinson, but he should have had a kick return touchdown in this one.
Yes.
He tripped over his own guy. Like, he's a star.
I felt like he was going to take every kick he had back to the house, honestly.
Why are you still kicking at him? Like,
yeah, seriously.
He was.
And